Do you want to go to space?
Fuck yeah, I want to go to space. Once they set up like a Rite Aid on Mars, I'm in.
Really?
You know, I need like a CVS. I'll be the first minimum wage worker in space. Once they have that job available, I'm in. That's how I came up with like the affogato joke. The affogato joke came up because I was on my Instagram. I'd be like, just give me a topic to write a joke about, and I would just riff on it. And someone said avocado, so I was just thinking about avocados, and then I like remembered that story.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
I think that would be really fun to just like reach out to my following or lack thereof and just be like let me know what I should write a joke about. But I don't write. Well, I guess you're kind of similar to me. I don't write jokes. I like they're often stories.
Yeah. Which is hard.
Yeah.
It's hard.
You write down the barrel. It's hard.
Tell me about this tea, bro. What are we drinking?
So this tea is called Lazy Boy. It's by Bird and Blend, which is a UK-based tea company. It is a Rooibos tea. It's got some cocoa shells in it. Brews at 212 for about 5 minutes. Completely herbal. What do you think?
I like it. It's a Rooibos tea?
Right.
What does that mean?
It's a Rooibos tea.
Rooibos.
I like that you're saying it with an Australian accent.
It's robust, but you're like saying it fancy.
It's like Rooibos tea. It's a Rooibos tea. So a Rooibos tea comes from a small shrub, a bush in South Africa is where Rooibos is predominantly.
Wow. You big? You're a tea head?
You know what's funny? I've never heard someone refer to it as that. Yeah, I think so.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm a big tea head. I love tea.
Are you in groups?
No.
You're not in any
Here's my general problem with tea culture is that I think a lot of people don't drink tea because they're very much like, I'm sorry I don't drink tea. Oh, what does it need to be? What temperature? Oh, blah, 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 all this stuff. Like, there are people who really like tea who are snobby. We'll see someone who, and I'm sure you've seen this before because we both worked in restaurants, just throw a tea bag in a cup, put the lid so it holds the tea bag still, and that's your tea for the day.
Right.
And then snobs will just be like, you left a tea bag in your water?
Yeah, you gotta.
Disgusting.
Right.
And I don't like that. So I don't join those groups because I feel like
the culture of anything's annoying.
I agree.
Yeah, anytime people
Snooty.
get, like, I love sports, but the sports guys, it's like,
Are you a sports guy?
Huge sports guy, but I don't advertise that because I don't want to be one of those guys.
Are you someone who, like, every Sunday needs to be home to watch football?
No, but I typically am.
Your schedule just lends itself.
Like, if I had a girlfriend or a life, but I don't, so I'm home watching football.
I mean, listen, we can use this as a dating show. If you want, we can get some stuff about you, your favorite hobbies.
Don't have them.
Don't have a hobby.
No, just eating, comedy.
Eating and comedy.
Yeah.
I like those things.
It's mostly just bread and comedy.
Bread?
Yeah.
Is your favorite food, and I don't say this with judgment because I believe that I have multiple friends who say this, your favorite food is bread?
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So when you go to, and I'm asking this because I can't do this, when you go to a restaurant, how do you not just fill up on bread at the top of the meal?
I will.
Oh, you
and
do?
Then I'll eat my meal too.
I do that also, but then I feel very bloated and someone's like, why are you so full? I'm like, I ate all the bread.
I ate all the bread.
Yeah. It's a problem.
It is a problem, but it's the only joy I really have.
Is bread eating?
Yeah.
I would
be in a bread group. I should do that.
Did you
I'm
do
get into
sourdough?
Bread culture. No. That's the thing is, like, I don't even bake bread. I don't want to, because, like, I loved comedy, you know? And then I started doing comedy you see behind the curtain.
And you're like, I hate this now.
It's not that I hate it now, but it changes it. I don't want that to happen with me and bread.
Talk to me more about that. I'm so curious. It changes it. I mean, like, it doesn't, for me, it didn't change my joke writing or anything like that, but it definitely was like, oh, like, there's a lot of shitty politics in comedy I never thought would exist.
I think for me, it's more like I can't really go to a comedy show and enjoy it the way I did 10 years ago.
No.
Yeah.
Well, even 10 years ago, I'm not as much of a laugh out loud. I'm a lot more like, that's pretty funny.
I feel like I was laugh out loud, and now I am not.
It's weird. Yeah, I've noticed you're never laughing out loud when I'm on stage, which is interesting.
Well, it's just I just want to see you kind of grow a little bit more. I have some notes.
So I'll say this to you. You're one of two people, I think, in the comedy world for me. No, it's not a compliment.
I know.
One of two people in the comedy world for me, and I love this, who talks shit right before I go on stage to me. It's you. Well, actually, there are probably three people, but like it's you, my old buddy Dean, who is now living in, I think he's in Houston right now, but used to send me just shit talk. Like right before I would take the stage, would text me just outrageous shit, being like, hey, I know we're just gonna hear the same set of jokes again, so just let me know so I can leave the room, like shit like that. And then even Zach will say some stuff to me right before I go on stage. I'm just like, why? Why? Do you
I
all
think
do
it's.
this?
I don't say because I know that would hurt. But
No. I think it's very funny. I love your texts.
I know, like Laura Peak right before her Comedy Store audition. I was like, "Are you nervous?" And she's like, "Yeah, I'm nervous." I'm like, I would be very nervous if I were you. Things like that, I think, are really fun.
Oh, I mean that's super. That's half the reason to do it.
Yeah.
I remember I was sitting at the bar in the lab at the Improv with Zach Stein, and I don't remember who went up like two before me, but it was like bad. And Zach goes, "Oh, I wouldn't want to be you." I was like, "Thank you for the vote of confidence." He goes, "Oh, my bad. That's not what I was trying to do."
I did a suicide awareness gala.
No, you didn't.
And I was opening for Dana Gould.
Oh.
And we're sitting at the table. So we're all at a table.
Okay.
And we're, like eating. There's an auction. I don't remember what the order was. There was
Sure.
like an auction, some speeches, the comedy, maybe something else. I don't know. But so the keynote speaker was this lady talking about her boyfriend that had killed himself. And that's why she got very involved with the program. And then Dana goes, "You're next." And I'm newish at comedy. I'm like 3 years in.
Yeah.
I'm not like doing private gigs kind of seasoned.
No.
And I'm like, that can't be. No.
Wait, but you weren't actually.
No, there was one other thing in between, but it's still a weird vibe to do comedy.
Yeah, I think one of the weirdest ones I ever did, and I'm going to be honest though, it was fun. But one of the weirdest ones I ever did is I have a friend who has a grief nonprofit that helps people like learn how to deal with grief and all that kind of stuff after she lost her dad. Shout out Luna Peak Foundation.
Shout out.
Shout out. Is that a weird shout out? Probably.
Luna Peak, if you're feeling sad. No,
Yeah,
that's not. Why?
They need a slogan. That might be it. She was like, "Hey, we're doing a fundraiser. Can you come do a set?" And I was like, "Sure." And she goes, "If there's anything grief related that you have, it'd be great." Now, I have a very dark 10 minutes all about like
You didn't do it.
death, cancer, car accidents.
No. Did you do it?
Absolutely.
Did it do well?
Crushed.
Yeah.
But here's the thing. We were also in a living room.
Okay.
And so I'm like with one of those speakers that's almost like it's not a toy speaker, but it's not so far. I'd say they're distant cousins
Right.
next to me. And I'm just like, "Hey, how are y'all doing?"
Did you even need it? You're in a living
No!
room. Yeah.
But she was like, "Use the speaker." I'm like,
It's
okay.
like a toy karaoke machine. Might as
Honestly,
well
that's
have
what it
been.
was.
Yeah.
That's what it was, which is fine.
Yeah.
But I was like, okay. How are you? And it's just like awkward silence. I'm
Yeah.
like, oh, nice. Who's lost someone? Who's dealt with death? Anybody?
You're like, who'd you lose? Oh, just a nephew? I lost my straight up parents, you
I
loser.
fucking lost both my parents in a skiing accident, and then was being overseen by my aunt, and then all of a sudden this guy came back because he rolled a 5 or 8.
Have you heard a little thing called 9/11?
Yeah. Oh my God.
You in fact. Yeah.
I'm from New York, so I know it.
No. You're from New York?
Yeah. I can't tell if you're kidding or not.
Prove it.
Yeah, so on 9/11, that's my proof. On 9/11, you're not going to believe what happened.
Where were you?
It was crazy. I was in the towers.
No way.
Yeah, I'm Steve Ranazizi. I was in
That's
the towers.
amazing.
Yeah. I still don't understand. There's some lies that people tell where I'm like, go for it. Like someone's like, yeah, like I have a 10-inch penis. I'm like, go nuts, But then like Steve was like, hey, here's a really provable fact. I was in the Twin Towers. I'm like, yeah, that's definitely. Why would you do that? That's a bad one.
Yeah, he must have. Do you know the whole story? He must have.
I think he was in New York, but he wasn't in the towers.
Did he never go to the towers?
Not
He didn't
on
even
that
have
day.
like an alibi of some kind, like a friend there.
I think what he said is he got caught up in the lie and just like
He
kept
just
going.
straight up lied.
Which is
I thought it was like he worked there or something. He had no access to that tower.
I don't think so. But like,
Damn.
you know what? I've heard people lie about worse. I came across a video the other day. I go down really weird YouTube rabbit holes. I don't know if you do as well. And I went down the rabbit hole of people who make over $100K by pretending to be homeless. Have you seen this stuff? It was like a 2020 special.
But I've gotten really into the faking cancer thing.
Wait,
that's a whole thing.
People are doing that?
People are faking cancer. A friend of mine has a podcast coming out about it. And
oh my
it's
God.
like,
do I know this friend?
her name's Annie Bernstein. She did comedy for a second in the Bay. Now she lives in LA somewhere.
It sounds kind of familiar. I mean, is she Jewish?
She is Jewish, but they've also, Bernstein.
That's why I said it.
There's also another podcast or more about this. People fake cancer. Some of it's, and they get money a little bit, but I think it's more about like just a weird psychosis thing where they need attention, or it's weird, man. People are weird.
But that's, again, these are so like you could prove them false pretty easily. I saw a TikToker who pretended to have cancer, and she's probably an episode on the pod, did all this stuff. And then a bunch of like actual doctors, like she was like, yeah, and I found out this, and I have to do this, and I have to take that. And some multiple doctors was like, that's not sounding correct. And then they like looked into it, and then she had to like admit, she's like, I never had cancer. I was like,
right.
Lie about something else.
But then there's also all these crazy what's the word if you're like on the internet and proving things wrong?
I mean, social justice warriors.
Anyways, but like they'll
internet sleuths.
Internet sleuths. That's what I'm looking for. There's all these sleuths, and then they can be wrong. And then they're accusing people of like Quincy Jones,
the comedian.
He had cancer.
Yeah, no, he really did have cancer.
And then there's a comic in the Bay, Kayla. People are like, you don't have cancer, and it's just like.
And then Mikey Walls we talked about earlier.
They cut his leg off. People are like, he still has
yeah,
his
you just
leg.
wanted that leg off. It's like, did I? I don't know that I did.
It's crazy.
I feel like I'm trying to think about things as I was growing up, I would lie about really stupid things.
Yeah.
So like I remember once I came home with a buddy of mine, and my mom was like, "Oh, like how was your day?" I was like, "It was fine." She's like, "What'd you have for lunch?" And I was like, "Tuna salad." And we're walking away, and my buddy goes, "You had a turkey sandwich. I was next to you." I go, "Yeah." He goes, "Why would you lie about that?" I go, "I don't know, just to see if I could."
Yeah. Yeah, you're a sociopath.
Yeah, for sure, no doubt.
Yeah.
But like I don't lie. I'm not like, it'd be great. I've mentioned multiple times on this pod. My dad said it would be great if I'm like, he actually lives in Tulsa. He's fine. I don't know. I guess I just don't see the point in lying that big. But also, like, lie about something that makes you seem awesome. Having cancer, it's like, I just feel really bad if someone says they have cancer. Lie and be like, I went to space.
That'd be sick.
Going to space or lying about it?
No, going to space. You got to be distracted by space.
Do you want to go to space?
Fuck yeah, I want to go to space.
So if someone said, hey, you could be one of the first people that we send to Mars, you want it?
Yeah. First people? Yeah, I'm not really like
in the first 500.
Once they set up like a Rite Aid on Mars, I'm in.
Really?
You know, I need like a CVS.
Interesting. So only pharmacies is what you need.
Yeah, I just need
Should
something where I can just grab a granola bar and a Diet Coke. You know what I mean?
Get a Dwayne Reed up there.
I just don't want to be the guy like building the first house.
Oh, well, God, no.
No, I'm not into that. Yeah. Once they get here, I'll be the first minimum wage worker in space. Once they have that job available, I'm in.
But you don't have a preference as to what it is. As long as it's minimum wage, you're there for it.
As long as I can leave work at work. You know what I mean? I want to clock out and then just be in space.
And then you just go to your buddy, you go, ugh, Mars today.
I don't want to be the guy that's like, this oxygen machine's on the fritz. I don't want any important jobs.
I imagine you at like a space 7-Eleven with just like a churning oxygen machine. It's like, the oxygen I see is not working today.
Yeah, but we have a special on taquitos.
Oh,
can I tempt you with that?
Do you think they're gonna have the little spinny things on in 7-Elevens on Mars? Those weird little spinning taquitos in the front.
Yeah, of course.
You have to.
Otherwise, what are we doing?
What is a 7-Eleven?
If we're not bringing taquitos, our culture, to space, then
that is our culture.
That is our culture. Yeah,
that is so funny. I think. The problem when people talk about the space race is what I think about a lot is I don't bring any discernible skills. Like they would not bring me to space.
No, of course not.
What do I add?
I don't know what do you add here?
Nothing. Nothing.
Yeah, comedians don't. I mean, we like to say that we're like the truth tellers, but we're very replaceable.
100%.
Yeah.
Anytime I text you and you don't respond, I replace you with someone else all the time.
I know.
Yeah, it's not hard. I remember. God, how long ago was it? It's probably like a year or so ago. We couldn't get our dishwasher to work. It was just not working. It was not cleaning food.
So what'd you do? Just throw the plates away?
Yeah, absolutely. 3 different people came in to check it out. Couldn't figure it out. I go under the sink. Bear in mind, I have no discernible talents, especially in plumbing.
Mm-hmm.
I watch a couple YouTube videos, go under the sink, and quickly find out what the problem is, which is just it was plugged into the T valve was tapping the wrong water. Anyway, I figured it out, and my fiance literally looks at me and goes, "Wow!" And I said, "What do you mean?" She goes, "I just never thought you were capable of anything in the house."
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, "Anything?" It wasn't plumbing. It was anything. And I was like, That's brutal. And she goes, "Do you disagree?" And I was like, "No, I know that makes sense. Yeah. I'm not handy. I'm not handy at all."
Yeah, it's tough. Well, I'm not handy, and yet I did a whole van conversion.
What?
Yeah, here's the thing. You can during COVID. Me and my dad and I did it.
So your dad did it.
My dad did it, but I held a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
I would hold the nail and he would hammer it, and that's trust.
He's like, pass the wrench, and you were like, give him a hammer.
I love that I said nail. I don't think we used a single nail.
Nope, you screwed everything.
We screwed everything.
Sure,
but
I knew that.
What I'm saying is that if you have YouTube can teach you anything.
You have to have patience. Are you a patient person?
During COVID, I was. There was nothing else going on.
This is weird, but I'm going to ask it anyway. Do you ever miss COVID?
Yeah, I miss it.
No.
But I forget. I think I miss it. And then I remember we were not doing stand-up.
And I was also predominantly unhappy.
Yeah. But I think looking, like the time it offered is romantic to think about.
Yeah.
But then I think about what I actually accomplished.
Oh,
it's not like I wrote the great novel or screenplay.
Oh wait, I'm sorry. If we're talking about accomplishments, I did not have any. I did nothing during COVID. I got very sad at one point. I remember.
And you were living here?
No, I was living in a 500 square foot apartment with both of us having day jobs working from home, which doesn't sound that unpleasant.
Yeah.
But with
that sounds very unpleasant.
Yeah. Well, she also was. Jess was working with Eastern Europe, so she was up at 5:30 in the morning.
She was working with Eastern Europe?
That was part of her job.
Were they doing like a coup? What was going on?
Yeah, so she was fueling the Ukraine.
I'm glad that they got all of Eastern Europe to work together.
They all went for her.
Yeah.
She had to take calls at 5:30 in the morning starting.
Yeah,
and because we were in 500 square feet, I heard every word of them.
Yeah.
And I was just like, this is...
And you still love her?
Oh, I didn't say that.
Okay.
No. Absolutely not. But no, I remember there was one time where I have a feeling this is not your style of music, but do you remember when Harry Styles released an album with like Watermelon Sugar High, that whole thing?
I remember that song.
Okay. The first half of it is fun, and the second half is probably like 7 straight songs of incredibly sad music. I went in the shower and was listening to it, and the way Jess tells the story, she goes, "Yeah, I heard one of the sad songs. I was like, oh, it must just be on shuffle. But then I heard the second sad song, and I was like, maybe? And then there were 3 more in a row. And I was like, oh, something is not going well. And then...
were you crying in the shower?
I don't cry in the shower, but I literally walked out of the shower, like toweled off, walked out of the shower, went into the bedroom, not exaggerating, looked at my bed, and just let myself fall face first right into the mattress. And Jess comes over, she goes, okay, so this is not good. Yeah. And I was just so sad. I was like...
All I do is listen to sad music.
Is that true?
People think it's weird.
Is that true? You listen to sad music?
It's not all I listen to.
Well, not all.
Primarily, yeah.
What is it? Who is it?
It's just like a lot of that kind of like slow singer-songwriter, Americana folky, just...
Americana folky? Are we talking like old school, like Bruce Springsteen?
No, we're talking to like kind of like Lumineers and everything they've bred in the last 10 years. Okay. All those bands.
Lumineers, Mumford and Sons. No Mumford.
No, I mean,
Abbott Brothers.
Yeah, but like... Yeah, I guess so. That's a good place.
Give me a top 3
of who I listen to. Well, okay, so then my
favorites, but just
not my favorites,
or your favorites, whatever you want.
like top 3 bands.
They just you've been listening to recently. They don't
Well,
have to be,
Taylor Swift.
Are you a Swiftie?
I listen to Taylor Swift.
Oh, me too.
But mostly like her COVID albums, which were kind of like the sad, folky ones.
We're very different. I'm a lover guy.
Yeah, you love dancing.
Yes, I do.
I don't dance.
Ever?
I mean, I'll dance at a wedding or something if I'm with a woman that wants to dance. But no, I'm never. I need to dance. I'm never that.
Because I feel like I could.
It's always reluctant.
I would have gone one way or the other with you. Like I wouldn't have gone like maybe he dances. I would have been like either you dance a lot or you do not dance.
I don't really dance. No.
I feel like you'd be good
At dancing?
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty coordinated.
I think you have rhythm.
Yeah, but I don't get it. I don't like when people are that vulnerable with their bodies, just throwing it out there, moving around. Yeah.
So I love dancing.
I'm always like, what are you doing? Grow up.
I can't. I really wish you were like
Why don't
around.
you sit down and have a meaningful conversation? We're adults.
You sit down, Fred Astaire and Gene Kelly, and be like,
Yeah.
grow up.
Yeah.
You dancers.
Yeah. Fucking what? Tap dancing? Who's that guy?
I wish I took tap dancing as a kid.
Yeah, you seem like the kind of person that did.
That's the most hurtful thing anyone said to me on
It
this
should
podcast.
be.
It is. I think it would have been so fun.
Why?
It seems awesome. You're drumming with your feet.
But you could drum with your hands, and it's so cool.
Are you a drummer?
No, but drummers are cool.
They are really
Yeah.
cool. I've actually learned over time, I think the coolest person in the band is the bassist.
No.
You don't agree?
It's the drummer.
No. It used to be the drummer. Think about the bassist for a second.
The bassist has no skills.
The
You're playing bass because you came in last.
He does this, okay? Hand, doesn't give a crap, right?
Mhm.
Beep-a-dee-beep-a-dee-beep-a-dee. There's some slapping, beep-a-dee-beep-a-dee. Doesn't care. Just walking his little fingies around. Doesn't really care.
This is the coldest take I've ever heard.
Let me tell you
That
something.
the bassist is the coolest.
I was in a band,
Mhm.
okay, for 6 years. We would go up and down the East Coast.
Maybe your bassist was the coolest guy.
He was.
Yeah.
That is true.
But it's like Paul McCartney played the bass because no one else would.
That's true, but
Yeah.
who's the best member of the Beatles? Paul McCartney.
Well,
Oh,
I'm
no.
a Ringo guy.
Are you really?
I'm a big Ringo guy.
I'm a Ringo guy.
I love that you said, "Are you really?" Like this
well,
exists.
Well, yeah. I was like, what? Like, yeah. Ringo. I don't do a good Beatles.
That was pretty good.
Was it?
Yeah.
Oh, thank you.
I don't do accents.
At all?
No, I'm not into it. I don't dance. I don't do accents.
Man, what a catch you are. I can
I
see
know.
why you're
That's
not
why
in a
I got Zach
relationship.
in my podcast, man. He can do it all.
Yeah, no, I mean, very talented guy.
No, I actually do accents, but they always change and end up Russian at some point.
Do you have trouble when you're talking to someone with an accent? Do you pick up their accent?
Yeah, sometimes I'm afraid I'm gonna like repeat it. Like if I'm on stage and I'm talking to someone and they're like,
Yeah.
I'm like, where are you from? Like Liverpool, and I'm like Liverpool.
Right. I always want to do it. I remember once a buddy of mine wanted to. This is when I lived in Chicago. Wanted to set me up with a girl that he worked with who was English, and I was like, can't do it. He's like, why? I was like,
What? Why? You could have had an English kid.
I know, but well, first off, I wasn't into. We weren't. Her and I were not aligned in terms of our interests.
Okay.
But either way, I was also just
Wait,
like,
what interests are we talking? Was she like a racist?
no, I was a racist.
You
no,
were a racist.
No, she was like super like hiking and all this other shit. I'm just like, I don't want to do that
What's
stuff.
wrong with hiking?
I don't like hiking.
You want to tap dance?
Yes.
Got it.
How's that so hard? Y'all want to hike Runyon Canyon. I want to tap dance
Mhm.
in a dance studio.
I like that.
No, but I would be mimicking her accent. So she would be like, I don't know. I was going to the park the other day, and I would just start being like, oh, yeah, me too. I was also doing that. When were you there? And then she'd be like, stop. I can't help it. I want to just mimic,
Yeah.
which is a problem.
That is so fun, though.
It is fun. Have you ever dated someone with an accent?
No, but now I want to. I've always wanted to.
I mean, I when I was younger, I wanted to marry a British woman.
Mm-hmm. I went on a few dates with a British woman. No, I didn't have a problem. What I did is I just talked in my normal voice like a human being.
I don't do that.
I know, it's weird.
So the accent had nothing to do with why you didn't work out long term.
No.
It was mainly you. It was
Mainly just my intimacy issues.
Sure.
Yeah.
Are you a committophobe?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was until I got engaged.
That's what I got to do.
You start with it. You
Just
start
get
getting engaged. Yeah, you start with it. I wish I'd known you were a Taylor Swift fan. I have a Taylor Swift mug.
I don't. Taylor Swift's not my top 3. I was trying to think. Here's music questions. They tangle me up a little bit because I'm a big Dave Matthews Band fan.
Why
I
is
go
that?
every year.
You go every year.
I bring it up to people, and then it's a whole thing. It's one of two things.
Okay.
It's either I get made fun of just straight
you
up.
got to remember two things. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good catch. Or it's the that's okay. They'll be like, that's okay.
No, they don't.
Yeah, you kind of did it just now, where you were like, what's wrong with that?
Yeah.
That's the same thing as that's okay.
Well, I do. Okay. I don't actively listen to DMB now.
Mm-hmm.
However,
Yeah.
I absolutely had a phase where I listened a lot. I think I've probably seen him, I don't know, 10 to 15 times live.
Oh, damn.
Seen him a bunch.
Yeah.
So if someone's like, I love Dave Matthews, I'm not like, what?
No, they're a butt of a lot of jokes. Although I think they're starting to come back now. There was like the Lady Bird and now this weird 90s renaissance.
Were they in Lady Bird? They had a song in Lady Bird?
They were a big part. Yeah, it was Crash Into Me, and they talk about it too.
So
it's not just a song.
Here's my big.
Gotta see Lady Bird, man.
I've seen Lady Bird.
Oh,
didn't care for it.
Really? You're not a Greta Gerwig fan?
But here's the thing: I loved Little Women, which was another movie she did,
which was good.
I liked it a lot.
Yeah.
But
did you like Barbie?
Okay, this is the hottest take. I liked Barbie.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't love Barbie. Barbie had some issues. It was too long, and the ending became really convoluted. But but I liked it.
Mm-hmm.
And then I thought Oppenheimer was fine. So like everyone's like Barbenheimer. I'm like, I didn't love either of these movies. Like everyone's freaking out about. I didn't love either one.
What did you love this year?
Oh gosh, that's a great. I loved Air.
Okay.
Air was one of my favorite movies of the year. I loved Megan.
The horror movie?
I don't
The
consider it a
doll, right?
horror movie. Yes. It is one of the funniest movies I've ever seen.
I enjoyed Megan.
Right, because here's
I enjoyed
the thing.
Air. I enjoyed all those movies.
I think that like Megan is a horror movie, but knew it was funny and leaned into the humor. It was 100% leaning into being funny.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I listen. I liked Barbie. I didn't love Barbie.
Mm-hmm.
Oppenheimer was fine. It was could have halved the time, and it would have been much better.
Have you seen Killers of the Flower Moon yet?
3.5 hours. I can't
do it.
I can't see myself doing it. Have you seen it?
I have.
And it was worth the 3.5 hours.
Yeah.
You don't think there's anything he could have cut to even bring it under 3 hours?
Oh, absolutely, he could have. I think when it comes to like Nolan and Scorsese and a few others, it's like they're the only people that can get away with it.
But I don't think they should.
I mean, I enjoy it. I enjoy like every once in a while. I mean, yes, they could have cut it down, but you start telling, it's like there's only a few directors that could get like final cut.
Yeah, those two being two of them.
Yeah,
I mean, Greta Gerwig is probably now getting final cut also.
Sure, and that was a pretty long movie, maybe 2.5 hours. Barbie.
I think it was like probably like 210, 215, but like also too long.
Yeah, but I like being in a movie theater.
I do too. I just went to a movie last night, but like
What'd you see last night?
Next Goal Wins.
Oh, was it good? I heard it was bad.
But
I want it to be like Taika Waititi probably.
Yeah, it was fine.
Yeah.
It was. You know what? Let me rephrase. It was good. I never need to see it again. There were problems with it, easily identifiable. I never need to see it again. But it's fine. Okay. It's fine. But like I'll tell you, the two movies I really wanted to see, I didn't see because I was seeing it with a friend, and Jess wants to see these other two movies with me. The two movies that I really want to see are The Holdovers, which I'm dying to see.
Maybe my favorite movie of the year.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so dying to see it.
Yeah.
Number one, the storyline is just a me kind of storyline. My favorite movie of all time is Dead Poet Society. I mean, this feels right up my alley. Mm-hmm. And number two, I'll pretty much watch Paul Giamatti in anything.
Right.
So good for that. The second movie that we want to see that I didn't see without her, and let me explain before you jump on me here, is Thanksgiving.
I want to see Thanksgiving.
You do want to see Thanksgiving.
Yeah. I don't know anything about it. I know it's a horror movie. And I know it's got good reviews. That's all it takes.
I haven't looked at any of the reviews. Here's my feeling on Thanksgiving. I saw the trailer, and I said, this looks like an absurd movie that knows it's absurd, just like Megan.
What is the premise?
Some guy dresses up as a pilgrim and is killing people.
Oh, I love it.
And I was just like, this movie isn't trying to be The Shining.
Yeah.
This movie is trying to just like live in a lane that Scream lived in, where it's just like, this is kind of wacky.
You know, if you're interested, because that's an Eli Roth movie.
It is.
Do you know Quentin Tarantino bought the Vista in Los Feliz?
Oh, someone told me that.
And they which I loved, and they're remodeling it, and all the movies are 35 millimeters and stuff.
Are you a big movie guy?
I like movies.
Yeah, you should.
But I try not to. But I'm not like a student of movies. People are like, I see movies that come out, and then people are like, "What about have you seen that Citizen Kane?" I haven't seen it. Like I
It's
don't
fine.
go back and I don't have the Criterion thing. I probably should be, but it's that same kind of thing, like where we were talking about like comedy. You get to know something too much, you start to hate it. I'm like, no, I'm just gonna go to movies once or twice a month.
But yeah, no, I feel that way what you were saying about movies about a lot of things, which is like they're people create barriers for entry.
Mhm.
So to your point, you're like, okay, but I'm not a student of film, right?
Yeah.
But like, why do we have to be? Why
I
can't
try
we just
actively try not to be.
right? Why do we have to be? I got given crap the other day from somebody who was like, "Well, who are your favorite comedians of all time?" And I was like, "Well, are we just talking stand up, or are we talking about comedic performers?"
I always just say my contemporaries, people I'm like friends with.
you're like
That's fine.
you're like Zach
I'm
Chapeloni.
like Willie Simon.
I do. Well, I do love Willie, but yeah.
Yeah.
But I remember I said of all time. He goes, yeah, and I was like, well, I love like early Chris Rock was really big for me. I loved that. I used to in the Napster days because I used to like download Chris Rock, Jerry Seinfeld, early Dave Chappelle. Like I would download all that stuff. That stuff meant a lot for me.
Mhm.
Now these days, who do I love listening to? Mulaney, Mike Birbiglia, like that. That's of the current. And the guy goes, oh, so your knowledge doesn't go that far back. And I go, who did you want me to say? Red Fox? Did you want me to say Lenny Bruce? What did you want me to say?
Yeah.
Like
That's
I
what they
don't.
wanted.
A lot of that stuff.
Aristotle.
Yeah. A lot of that stuff, I'm sorry, doesn't hold up. Eddie
Oh, yeah.
Murphy's Raw doesn't hold up.
Sure.
And that was one of the best specials of all time. Like, comedy is not meant to hold up for decades. It is
Right.
meant to be a comment on the times. And that's why when people are like, well, when I listen back, I'm like, oh, I can't believe he said these words. I'm like, in the time,
Yeah.
those were the words people said.
Yeah.
And
We're
so,
just trying to make people laugh. People forget that.
yeah, who cares? Who cares? So it drives me really crazy. Anytime someone's like, well, what's your favorite? I'm like, I don't want to be a student of every comedian that's ever existed.
Sure.
I want to just enjoy
Yeah.
telling jokes. you
Yeah,
know?
that guy was definitely a guy.
It was a guy,
and
yes.
probably annoying. Do
Do
I know him?
No.
Damn.
Yeah, you know who it was?
Name
It was in
names.
fact it was Bruce Gray.
It was Bruce Gray. Sounds like Bruce, man. He's such a stickler for the rules.
By the way, this feels like as good a time as any to go to the first segment. Are you ready for the Newly Friend game?
I'm ready to segment it up.
Oh, let's do it. So the first segment is the Newly Friend game. It's like the Newlywed game, but we're friends.
Got it.
Yeah, hard to imagine, I know.
So I'm a great actor.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
The way this works is I'm going to ask you a question. You're going to write down your answer. Don't say it out loud. I'm going to write down what I think your answer is.
Okay.
And then we're going to see if we get it right. We'll do the same thing for me. Now, I had a different question for you, but based on our conversation, I'm changing it. We're doing an audible. See,
Okay.
Football. Audible.
Football.
Audible.
You know it.
I do. And don't write it or don't tell me, write it down. What is your favorite Dave Matthews Band song? I'm going to do this just because like this feels safe.
I think you might get it.
I don't think so. All right, flip your board on 3. 1, 2, 3.
Look at that, baby.
We both said two-step. Got it. Two-step's your favorite.
I mean, it changes, but yeah, Two Step Live is my favorite probably. It's a great live song. They mix it up.
They usually either encore or close with it.
They put it towards the end a lot. Yeah,
Interesting.
they do.
All right, well, let's do the same thing for me. Now, here's what I'm going to tell you because I think you're going to have trouble. So I'm going to give you a couple, and I'll give you points if you get any.
Your favorite Dave Matthews
My
song?
favorite Dave Matthews song. You'll be able to quickly tell what my favorite album is. They're not all from the same album, but
I'm changing my answer.
Okay, you ready? You're racing to change your answer. Okay. Do your thing.
Here we go.
Oh, you said Satellite. I said So Much to Say. Then I said the song that Jane likes. I don't know if you like that one.
Mhm. They're all great songs.
And then I said number 41.
Yeah. What a fun game.
Yeah. I can't tell if
It's like we
sarcastic.
crushed it on the first round, and
then
you're
we
like,
just-
let's
yeah,
make it even harder.
We just ate it. What made you say Satellite for me?
I think when you said all from the same album, I was like, they probably meant the first album or the Under the Table and Dreaming.
It's not my favorite album.
And so I was like, well, yeah.
My favorite album is Crash.
Yeah.
But here's what's funny. Don't love that song. Don't love Crash Into Me.
Yeah, people don't love it because it's like the hit. People don't love the hit.
I mean, I love Dance Marching. I
Yeah.
loved What Would You Say? That's the
Right.
game, by the way. You can put your board down. That's the whole game.
Oh, we're only doing one question.
Yeah, one question per person.
Got it. I thought I was ready to just do this for the rest of the day.
I mean, we could. listen, once
What was the question gonna be before you changed it to Dave Matthews song?
So I was going to ask you what your favorite stand-up venue was in the Bay.
Oh, that's easy.
This would be the punchline?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What would you have picked?
So there's one that I've never done that I think would be my absolute favorite.
Which
oh my God,
is?
I'm blanking on the name. It's the big one that's a little north. It's the one that Robin Williams used to do a lot. It's really hard to get.
Oh, Throckmorton.
Throckmorton with Lucy.
Throckmorton's great.
I've never done it, and I've always wanted to. It's been the venue I've wanted to do more than anything.
Have you messaged her on Facebook?
Doesn't respond.
Got to be on Facebook.
Doesn't respond.
Damn, dude.
Is Throckmorton worth doing? Is it as good as it seems in my head?
Not as good as it seems in your head, I don't think. It's very fun. It's a great show.
Yeah.
Great venue, beautiful venue. It kind of, I think when Robin passed, the kind of electricity is kind of it's seemingly not there anymore. You know, it's not like sold out. Like when I've been there, the balcony hasn't been like sat. You know, they still fill the bottom. But yeah,
So that was going to be my question for you. That's so interesting. Does everyone feel that way? The punchline is the place.
yes, Punchline's a great.
It's the Mecca.
It is a great. It's a perfect room.
Mm.
Just like acoustically sized ceilings.
But the number of people that are passed means that you get what, one hosting and one featuring a year.
Yeah, but you get it at 3 clubs. But yes, one at SF Punchline, one at SAC, and one at Cobb's.
Oh, Cobb's and Punchline are owned by the same folks?
It's all Live Nation, yeah.
Oh.
Yep.
Well, you should bring me. I'll come open for you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Listen,
Sure.
I bring the heat. I got to draw.
Once they let me headline.
Do you ever regret your move?
No. I'm enjoying it.
Okay.
I still feel like I get on the road enough to do hours, 40 minutes.
What is the road for you? Bakersfield?
No, I had a pretty good year. I did Denver, Philly, New York, Toronto, DC,
All
Seattle,
just on
Portland.
your, like you just booking your own?
Mm-hmm.
How did you find people in like, I've never reached out to the Philly scene. I've never
So
reached
like
out to Toronto.
Philly, I was Punchline
Oh,
through
okay.
Live Nation.
Yep. You just hit them up and go, hey, I'm going to go to Philly. Can you book me?
Uh-huh.
Oh, good for you.
Yeah. And then like some places would message me, like Detroit and Cleveland message me, and then
How are they
DC I
finding
message
you?
them. Just dude, Instagram, man. Reels blow up and yeah, dude, just keep grinding. You'll get
Oh,
there.
I hate you so much. I was gonna say, like, I had some reels blow up, and you know what
Yeah.
it got me? I lost some followers.
But it wasn't like it wasn't like super profitable.
It
You
never
know,
is.
Like you'd make enough money to travel and go and
Cover the
maybe
flight
pay
and
some bills,
and
but
the
like
hotel. Yeah.
yeah, I'm not if you're not hitting like bonuses or like if your door deal's set up such a way, if you're not selling out or at least filling up, yeah, it's exhausting.
Sometimes I think about, and I understand this is more work, but sometimes I think about the effectiveness of just like booking a room, not even a comedy club, a room, a theater. I heard someone recently was telling me that they've been in smaller towns were booking movie theaters
Mhm.
that had a little stage.
It's definitely I did that in Boston and Denver and made money.
You made your own room.
Well, I mean, they were rooms that you could rent, but they were theater. They were set up for they had done comedy or they had done other stuff.
But you felt
But it wasn't a comedy club.
and you felt your following was strong enough that you were like, I can do this.
I might have felt that way going in.
Listen, you should have told me. I would have flown in for you. I would have
Yeah.
come to see you.
No, you wouldn't have.
Absolutely not.
Yeah.
I don't even know why I said it. Didn't mean
Mhm.
it.
Yeah.
I will say, and this is the only nice thing I'm going to say to you this whole podcast, I do enjoy watching you do stand-up, even though before you go on stage, I regularly also text you shit, but I do enjoy watching you.
Thanks, man.
Yeah, that's all I'm going to say.
I do it for you.
I know. I texted you right before I bombed at the Comedy Store. I had texted you being like, hey, are you going up? And you were like, no, I'm judging it or whatever it was. You were like, I don't go up on this night.
Oh, what was it?
Set of the night.
Oh, set of the night.
And I remember the person next to me turned to me and they said, this is a shit room, so apologies in advance, but you're going to bomb. And I went up and tripped on my own words and ate shit.
I don't remember. Was I in the room for that?
Yeah. You
Oh.
and Bruce were there, who I both consider friends. Neither of you said a goddamn
I
word.
remember. I didn't say. I had like early on in that show, I was kind of like roasting people, which started to feel weird because like
Yeah.
I don't know most of those people.
Sure.
And then Frank got me so high.
That you were just like chilling.
He had just this little vape. It looked so like just
I think
unassuming.
I saw it. Yeah.
And I think I hit it like 3 times, and then I just stopped talking. I put my mic down and just watched the show.
You know what's weird? And this is the comedy scene just doesn't work this way. But so I bombed at the store and it was bad.
Mhm.
Like I tripped on my words and no one was laughing. Now, no one laughed at the comics before or after me, but I
Yeah.
still thought in my head, I was like, I can do this. No one laughed. You're up there. Bruce is there. I have friends, Nick Tarvella, Galena are up there.
Yeah.
I'm waiting for someone to send me a text being like, hey, dude, I truly, this crowd is not liking anybody. Because clearly I ate shit. Not a single person said a fucking thing to me, and I was like, y'all suck. Like,
Well, I mean, but it's like,
I wanted someone to be like, hey, dude, it wasn't that bad.
well, that hurts more than nothing, right? Like, hey, man, it wasn't as bad. It wasn't.
I
that bad.
literally-
if someone said that to me after a set, I'd be like, fuck you.
I felt like I did so bad that I wanted someone who cared about me to be like, hey, I know you look like you had a miserable time, but like really,
I'm not that friend.
No, I know you're not. You know what? Honestly, I think Chapeloni would have done it.
No, because it's like we know you've been doing comedy long enough to know when a room's just a weird. I mean, if that's an open mic for all comics,
Why does anyone? And I say this with a lot of respect.
I feel bad for because I get neurotic. I mean, I'll feel bad after a bomb, but some people get so sad after a bomb
It was
where
just
I'm like,
that
dude,
room.
you're not gonna make it.
I think that room, it's to me, just for me personally, feels poisonous.
The belly room or that show?
Set of the night.
Oh,
Set
yeah.
of the night feels poisonous.
Yeah, it's weird because the improv mic not super different,
But I feel
much better.
so much better there.
Yeah.
The
Store, but that's what's cool about the store is that it's intimidating.
That's cool.
I think so.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, it's it's rough, but it's like if you didn't have rooms like that and if you didn't have bombs like that, then this wouldn't be as stand up wouldn't be as cool as it is.
I think it's the most intimidating room I've done is the Comedy Store.
Set of the night.
Any of the shows I've done there too, like or not belly room shows.
Yeah, I think it's just I think that's a lot. We put that on ourselves too. I do it.
Yeah, here's what's crazy. I literally have performed in front of, I'm probably not as big crowds as you, but like in front of over 200 people. They're just there to, looking at me.
Right.
That's fine. Doing it for comics in the belly room, so much worse.
Oh, of course, it's so much worse.
I was like, oh, what
Because
a
we
nightmare.
don't laugh.
Nobody does.
That's what's so crazy about like the improv mic. People will laugh, and I'm like, what's going on here?
I think
Why are you
some of
laughing?
the stuff is really funny at
Yeah.
the improv, but I don't often laugh at that stuff. A lot of time I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
But like the improv mic, for some reason, I feel sometimes I get laughy. I think there's some funny stuff happening there.
That's good.
You don't laugh at any of it?
Yeah, every once in a while I'll laugh, and I'm always like surprised. But yeah, I think I'm mostly just. I think too, it's like you're gonna go up or might go up, so I'm in a different headspace. I'm not there to like
You're not there to-
enjoy comedy.
You're
it's
like-
it's very much I'm at work.
I've got my battle stuff ready to go. Got my armor on.
Yeah, and also it's just it's not a good. You're with your friends or it's just not. You're not in a. I'm not in a headspace to like laugh at jokes. I should be probably.
I know. Sometimes I'll come up to you and I'm like, "Hey, what's good?" We talk for like 5 seconds, and then I can see your brain is already just like thinking about how that mic's gonna go.
Yeah,
and I'm like, "Okay, great."
yeah. People work differently.
Yeah, I'm very low key.
Yeah, I'm always nervous about everything, but especially comedy.
You nervous about other things?
Oh, I'm just an anxious human being.
Are you nervous before you go on a date? Are you nervous?
Yeah, I'd say I am.
Okay. Do you go on a lot of dates?
Some.
And you get nervous before each one? That's a lot of nerve.
I mean, nervous to me is like, it's more like just general anxiety. Yeah, because it's like I'm going out, meeting a stranger. Strangers, man, a lot of anxiety there.
Well, that's why I'm always surprised at people.
And I'm not in charge of it like I am with stand up.
Yeah, a lot of people do these dating apps, and I'm like, it's no matter how much you like message back and forth, these people are still strangers. I'd rather someone just be like, "Hey, my friend's cool. Y'all should go out."
I've gotten to that point on the apps where it's like, are we meeting up or not?
Oh yeah,
I
you
can't-
post funny things on the apps.
Oh
where-
yeah.
Like you'll respond to people's prompts in crazy ways. Does
Yeah.
anyone actually say like, "Oh my god, I just saw you post that on Instagram"?
No.
Or do you say to them, "I'm posting this," or not, or you just do it?
Let's just do it.
Oh
I don't put their faces.
no, I don't. I've seen you
Yeah.
don't. No.
I know I posted one of them, and then one of the women I went on a date with, and we went on a few dates, and we're like friends now. She was like messaged me like, "Oh, that's mine," and we laughed about it.
Huh.
Yeah.
That's it. Have you ever had a fan come up to you after a show and be like, "We should go out"?
Mhm.
Do you?
You've never had that?
Oh yeah, I've had that, but I don't do it.
Right, because you can't. Have I? Yeah,
Interesting.
but it's never like. It's usually Instagram. They'll like great show, and then we'll get to chatting a little bit. I don't know if I've ever been like someone after show be like, let's go out. But it's sometimes like, do you want to go get a drink, or we're all going here after? Because they're not. No one's ever really alone.
No.
Yeah.
I was in Denver. It was probably last year, and I literally had just finished telling jokes about my girlfriend.
Yeah.
Just told a bunch. Get off stage, and some girl was like, "So like, what are you doing now? Like, me and my friends are grabbing a drink," and I was like, "Oh, I'm pretty tired. Like, the altitude's getting to me, so I'm probably just gonna go back and and get some rest." And she was like,
altitude's getting to me.
I didn't know what to say, and
Yeah.
she's like, "Well, if you're intimidated, like, forget my friends. You and I could just go for a drink." And I was like, "No, I'm probably gonna go back. Call my girlfriend, just like let her know I'm done." She's like, "Is she here?" And I was like, "No." And she's like, "So why don't we go get a drink?" I'm like, "This
Dude,
is
just
so-"
go out with your fans.
Yeah,
man.
yeah. I was like,
Just
"This is
cheat.
so weird." I was like, "I don't want to do this."
Yeah.
Struck me as so odd.
Yeah, I've put myself in some weird situations, but then it's like you're always looking for the story.
Again, going back to it.
Yeah. Yeah, I know after a show, she was like, the next day, she's like, I can show you around town. And then we went. I was like, okay, let's see. And I knew it was a little weird vibes, but she was pretty and nice. And then we ended up driving into areas with no cell service, and then it was it was like parts of like I found out by the end. I was like, she's trying to make her boyfriend jealous, or like ex-boyfriend or newly like
Why was she like posting photos of
no,
everything
she
you
was
did?
like taking me to places that he would be and like introducing me to people. And at first I thought she was just like taking me to like a winery, and we were
it's fun.
and then I was seeing the sights, and then I was like, wait a minute. And then I was like, this guy's going to show up at some point, and it's going to be a thing.
At that point, you're like,
I remember getting back to my car and being like, I wasn't sure I'd ever see this car again. Yeah.
you thought she might kill you?
Yeah, no, I mean, I can't, but there was a small part of me that's like, I don't know how today's going to end. I wish my phone was working.
That is, if someone took me to a place with no cell service and I didn't know them very well, I'd be like, oh, I'm good. I'm done.
What choice do you have at this point? You're in their car.
I guess nothing.
Yes.
That's why I always carry.
I mean, I was trying to say, like, I think I'd rather go back to town.
What city was this?
This was up in like Humboldt.
Like Humboldt County?
Yeah.
What's to see there?
We went to a winery.
Okay.
And we went to like an apothecary, but it wasn't like a storefront. It was just like someone's house, and she just started taking like tinctures, and I was like, are we just stealing from a house?
Not loving this.
Yeah. It was a little, yeah.
What? And so now you two are married.
Kind of. It's like a poly thing.
Oh.
I'm a part of her
Ethically non-monog.
Her part of her like cult. She doesn't like that word, but just to speed up the story.
I get it.
Yeah.
Nexium. I'm with you.
Yeah.
Well, this is as good a time as any to go to the lightning round. Are you ready for it?
I'm so ready for lightning round.
Yeah, you are. It's 5 fast questions. Does not at all have to be fast answers. You checking the time?
Yeah, well, I saw you look over there, and I was like, what's he looking at?
Well, because I want to keep
I get it now. You're keeping it on time, and I didn't. Now
I'm a really good host.
Edit this out. I want people to think we're professional.
No, we're leaving it in.
God damn it.
These are 5 fast questions. Don't have to be fast answers. I like to use an index card. Makes me feel like a late night talk show host. So I'm into it. Question 1. What is a favorite ritual of yours? So mine is brewing tea in the morning. What would be one of yours?
Probably like whatever my drink is in the morning, coffee. But like more than that is like turning on music and like writing.
You write every morning?
Yeah. Well, I do something. Yes.
Like morning pages or like writing jokes?
One or the other, or even just like I try to do something creative. It could be editing, but like something creative in the morning is with music on.
I love that.
Usually instrumental.
Interesting. So no Dave, no
Sometimes, but no, usually if I'm like writing, I try to do, or I'll do a lot of like piano covers. So it's like music I recognize, or like jazz, but like I don't want to be thinking about words.
Do you have a playlist of piano covers?
What's her name? There's like Min's Piano on Spotify. She does like a lot of like pop covers.
Min's?
Minnz.
All right, I'll look into it.
Yeah.
Question 2: What is a running bit you have with a friend or partner that makes you laugh?
At work, I tell people they're doing great. Everyone's talking about it. Like, hey man, you're doing great. Everyone's talking about it.
Just like a coworker,
Yeah, I'll just walk by.
and without any prompting.
Yeah.
I think that would really throw me.
People are like, is that? Especially the new people. They'll be like, okay, cool.
They're like, wait, am I?
I have a lot of running bits like that. What are other ones? I have such a bad memory.
Do you?
I'm like starting to get worried about it.
Do you take what is for memory? Ginkgo biloba?
Yeah.
I don't know. Actually, no.
I watched like half a movie recently and realized I had already seen this movie.
It took you a half of the movie to figure that out. What was the movie?
It was some new horror movie on Hulu. I think a lot of it was because the first time I watched it, I was very high and just on my phone the whole time.
So slightly different.
But still half a movie where I was like, I've seen this whole movie.
I am dying to know what the movie was. I'm sure you can't
One
remember
time,
it right now, but
do you remember Russell Brand did like Arthur?
yes.
I watched that movie and then like 2 years later watched the whole movie again, and not until the end was like, I've seen this movie before.
It took you the whole movie.
Yeah. At least a couple years had passed in between.
Question 3. What is your most controversial opinion?
I don't think left-handed people are real. I don't think anyone's left-handed.
Really?
Uh-huh.
Tell me more.
I think they just tell themselves they are, and then they build it up.
So once they tell themselves, once they're dedicated to the bit, they're like, I'm left-handed.
Yeah.
Then they build up their abilities with their left hand, so then they can be like,
yeah,
see?
You know, I don't actually feel this way, but I tell people this that
I think it's great.
And sometimes they're left-handed. They get so angry, and I love it. And I never yield. I'm like, yeah, I just don't believe in it.
It's like the birds aren't real guy.
It's like the birds aren't real guy.
Yeah, very much.
Or even like, and I just use it like, I use the same arguments people use for like faith in God. They're like, it's just in my heart, I know it.
I think,
and this is how I live in my reality. And you can live in your reality, and everyone's entitled to that. But I just don't believe in left-handed people.
My favorite thing to do to drive people crazy, if someone has an absolutely nutty opinion,
yeah.
I go, oh my God, and you're entitled to that.
Mm-hmm. You can live in that dumb space.
100%. And it could be really stupid things. Like I had a friend who was just like, yeah, like I don't love pasta. And I was like, and you're entitled to that. Mm-hmm. You're entitled to that. And I want you to hold on to it. Mm-hmm. It's not for me.
Yeah. A lot of people do a lot of wrong things.
Yeah. It's not my thing.
Yeah.
Question 4. Have you ever experienced imposter syndrome? And if so, is there one moment that really sticks out for you?
I remember very early on in comedy, I hosted for Michael Costa at Rooster T. Feathers.
Rooster T. Feathers.
And then he hit me up a few weeks later. Was like, hey, do you want to feature for me in Phoenix? So I said, yes, of course. So I flew to Phoenix, and I get to the hotel, and the hotel's so nice that I'm like, he thinks I'm someone else.
Dude, was he putting you up?
Well, the club was.
Okay.
But he was like, there's no way. He texted the wrong person. Because he like asked for my phone. I was like, he texted the wrong person. And I remember like going to the club thinking like, he's going to see me and be like, oh, fuck, I fucked up.
What did he say when he saw you?
Nothing. It was just normal. We did the weekend. It was fun.
Was it a really nice hotel?
I mean, it was like...
It was better than a Courtyard Marriott.
It was better than a Courtyard Marriott. It was... I'm trying to remember. It had a name that's like a chain, but like kind of a nicer one.
Interesting.
And like I had a view of the basketball stadium arena and like it's like we're in downtown Phoenix.
It was like nice.
And then at the club they were like, or the club called the room and was like, would you like security escort? Like they...
Are you serious?
Which was over the top.
Did you say yes?
Yeah, I was like, I don't like, let me see photos of the guys, see if they're even big enough to handle this.
You're like, I need to vet him. Do you have a swipe right, swipe left kind of platform?
It was just Stand Up Live, which is a great club.
Sure, I've not done it.
But not, I mean, I haven't done it since, but not,
Well, I think that's an indicator of how well it went.
Yeah, well, I was trying to do 30 minutes. No, it was fun. It was very fun.
Someone was like, did you notice Torio said 3 jokes and did 27 minutes of crowd work? And they were like, yeah, I did. Interesting.
Hey, it was good, okay? People liked it.
You were Matt Rife before your time.
That's
you know
right.
What I mean? Final question.
Yeah.
What is your favorite tea or comfort? And I know you're not a big tea drinker, so it could just be, what's your favorite comfort?
Room. Being in my room.
Just being in your room.
We joke about that on our pod. Dude, just being home, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a great answer.
A lot of people, I found out some people like can't go home and go back out because if I go home, I'm in for the night. Whereas me, it's like I like to go home, recharge, go back out.
I get both.
Not like comedy, but like in the day. You know what I mean?
I get both points of view though.
Yeah, I
Like-
get both points of view, but I never like really realized that that's how people thought. I just didn't think about it.
I mean, if I do like 2 mics
Mm-hmm.
or like a show and a mic, or even if I just like go hang, if I do
Yeah.
a hang, if it's past like 9:30 and I've come home,
Yeah.
very hard to remotivate.
Totally, but also like when I'm scheduling my day, people will be like if I have a show at 8
Mm.
and I have plans before, I'm like, I got to be done at like 5. I got to go home, and it's not just shower and change. It's like chill.
Well, it's a mental headspace before
Yeah,
a
yeah,
show.
yeah.
A lot of people don't realize this when I do shows in cities where I know people, and they're like, "Oh, you have a show tonight? Is it at 8? Oh, we should do dinner." And I'm
so
like,
rough.
"No,
No, we're gonna hang out after. Got to hang out after.
But sometimes I go, "I don't want to hang out after," and they're like, "Why not?" And I'm like, "Because I want to wake up early tomorrow because I haven't written in a long time, and I
Right.
have some writing I need to do, and I don't want to go out. Like, and I don't like late. I don't like eating late. So like, I'm just like, it's a whole thing. You know what I mean?
You sound fun.
I am not.
Yeah.
Wow. Am I not fun anymore? Maybe.
I don't know, man. I mean, we're having tea. That's pretty fun.
I think. Listen, I know you're talking shit.
I
but-
like tea.
So you're in now. You're a tea drinker.
I told you I was a tea drinker.
Yeah, I think you said I don't really have a preference. I'm fine with whatever.
That's because I like all teas.
Oh, you
I'm
are
a big.
bit of
I'm
a
going.
tease.
I'm going hard on the apple spice right now.
It's delicious.
Yeah, it's good. It makes me feel like it's winter, fall.
I think I have like an apple strudel tea.
You should fuck with it, man.
I'm going to.
Yeah.
Right,
Right now.
right now?
Yeah.
I'll make it right now. That was the pod. How do you feel?
I feel great.
Yeah?
I feel like I really grew as a person.
I do too.
Yeah.
You. I was already fully grown. I feel like you
Yeah.
grew as a person.
I feel lucky to have been a part of it.
I mean, listen, you want to kick it to the credits? Go nuts.
Guys, stick around for the credits. There's going to be something a little special after. You're not going to want to miss it.
There you go. You heard it from him.
Yeah.
Thanks for being on, man.
You're welcome.
That was Torio Van Grol. You can find him on TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, and Twitter at Torio Van Grol. We'll be back next week, so until then, happy steeping. How is a Keurig less fancy than an espresso? They're the same thing. Are they not? I think they are.
My Keurig coffee's bad.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay, then maybe they're not.
Because I know like going for a walk and getting a good coffee is a nice treat for me.